A large display of solidarity seen in the streets of Ashkelon in southern Israel. But take a closer look, and you may be surprised by who's actually waving these blue and white flags.
Basically, my whole family was involved in the Second World War. They were Nazis. They were known as a Nazi family in town.
Hundreds of Germans with their own family history of anti-Semitism.
It's very important for me to be here to say my family story because I'm a descendant of Nazi perpetrators. My family was actively involved in the Holocaust, my grandparents, also my grandmothers. And as I found out, I was very shocked and I want to speak about because my grandparents, they didn't speak about it.
They're all in the Jewish state participating in March of the Nations, a solidarity mission that brings together Holocaust survivors with descendants of the Nazi regime.
I can't change the past, but it's my responsibility to affect the future and the present times.
And their mission is working.
Not only they are not blamed in what their grandfathers done, but also they take responsibility for those deeds. So I don't see anything more high, more pure, and more human than those people.
Aryeh Itamar was born in the Soviet Union, a survivor of the Nazi regime.
My grandmother managed to escape with me from the Odessa, which was surrounded by the Nazi armies. And it was the last train which managed to break through the German and the Romanian forces.
He came to Israel in 1947 when he was just 9 years old, making the long journey on the SS Exodus. But despite this painful past, he has no hate here in the present.
I cannot look on young people that they have to carry the blame of their grandfathers. I do not accept this idea at all.
In the shadow of the October 7th massacre and the anti-Semitic rallies that have since popped up throughout Europe, the mission of March of the Nations and March of Life are even more crucial this year.
March of Life this year, we were in front of the university in Leipzig, and there were a Palestine demonstration inside, but we have a bigger group and it was a very good statement and a very important statement, and we will not be silent in this time.
For me, it was pretty clear that I cannot stay silent. I can't remain silent, especially in a situation like today after the 7th of October. It's so important to speak up and to stand with Israel and to stand with the Jewish people and to support them.
Hundreds of Germans with no Jewish ties showing support for the Jewish state in its time of need.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Global Pulse. Here is the latest from the Middle East. Israel sent a peace proposal to Hamas amidst heavy pressure, claiming control over this corridor. Israel has offered a new peace proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza. According to American President Biden, the peace proposal was sent to Hamas through Qatar. Prior to this, the Israeli army has claimed to take control of the Philadelphia corridor. To end the 8-month-long ongoing conflict in Gaza, Israel has offered a new proposal to Hamas. According to U.S. President Joe Biden, the peace proposal has been sent to Hamas through Qatar. President Biden stated that the peace proposal includes a ceasefire, the release of Israeli prisoners, and the reconstruction of Gaza's residential areas. While speaking to journalists at the White House, President Biden said that everyone who desires peace should raise their voice. Now is the time to end this war. Biden has appealed to leaders of both sides to take advantage of this opportunity. According to him, a 6-week ceasefire is included in the first phase of this proposed peace. During this time, Israel and Hamas will discuss ending the war that began after the attacks on October 7th. Biden said, "This is a roadmap for a permanent ceasefire and the release of all prisoners. This proposal was sent to Hamas by Qatar. I want to have appropriate conditions for American citizens and the world. This new proposal has 3 phases. Before this, Hamas had also given a peace proposal to Israel, which Israel had rejected. In Hamas' proposal, it was mentioned to release prisoners in exchange for the immediate return of Israeli soldiers from Gaza. Talks were also held in Egypt for a ceasefire in Gaza, which remained inconclusive. Agreement could not be reached on the peace proposal in Egypt as well. At that time, Hamas was demanding a complete cessation of hostilities. They wanted the war in Gaza to end completely with a permanent ceasefire and for the Israeli army to withdraw. Meanwhile, Israel was emphasizing the need to stop the fighting for a while. During this time, the Israeli army has claimed control over the Philadelphia corridor, which runs along the Gaza and Egypt border. The strategically significant corridor is called the Philadelphia corridor. It is a buffer zone. It is called a buffer zone because it is a coastal area between Egypt and Gaza. Meanwhile, after the capture of this corridor, the entire land border of Gaza has come under the control of Israel. IDF has reported that there are also 20 tunnels discovered here. These tunnels were used by Hamas for smuggling weapons in Gaza. IDF spokesperson David Menzner said, "I can confirm this report that our soldiers have seized control of the Philadelphia corridor, which is a narrow strip between Egypt and Rafah." Meanwhile, Egypt has rejected Israel's claim of tunnels in the Philadelphia corridor meeting. Egypt says Israel is making a false claim for trying to justify its military action in the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. Egypt has been a strong supporter of the Palestinian people and has condemned Israel's military operations in Gaza and the killing of thousands of civilians by Israeli security forces in this conflict. Tensions have increased after this seizure. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned with us for the latest updates. Goodbye and see you soon.